for the wonderful introduction. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and the youth present here today. Importance of performing arts in education. Let me divide my topic into two parts: performing arts and education. Performing arts has DDVIS: drama, dance, vocal, instrument, and sports. All these are some form of communication, that is transferring of knowledge, expressing knowledge, feelings, and thoughts. Education to me means acquiring knowledge, broadening one's horizons, adaptability, that is expanding the GMQ. GMQ is the general market quotient. Is it the financial market or the share bazaar and dividends? No. General market quotient means awareness of each and every field, even remotely connected to human and social development. Let us understand that there is something that we call about as customizing as per the changes that is happening today. But while customizing, we do not lose our identity and our culture. That is the GNQ here. There is a difference between literacy and education. Today's world, most of us are literate, but how many of us are educated is a different issue. I know of people who do not know to read and write, but are extremely educated. That is because they have the maturity, the wisdom, the adaptability, and connectivity. It is this word connectivity that is where performing arts and its role becomes very important. So let us now explore DDVIS. The first D, drama, brings about physical alertness, body posture, that is the body language, the voice, facial expressions, elegance, the walk, and rhythm. The second D, that is dance, brings about physical fitness. It also adds and brings about rhythm, facial expressions, grace, and elegance. Next comes V, that is vocal. Vocal imbibes voice modulation as well as rhythm. Next is the I. Instrument brings about physical fitness, alertness, as well as rhythm. And sports. Sports brings about physical fitness, it brings about mental alertness, and the gait. That apart, all these elements of performing arts bring about presentation skills and aesthetics. People must be wondering, why have I included sports into performing art form? Well, performing arts basically means expressing and communicating to an audience in an effective manner. Sports also includes that communication in an effective manner, and sports is also performed to an audience, just like all the other performing art forms are. What I'm speaking about today, this learning that I have, is based on and derived from the 32 years of research work of eminent psychologist, educationist, performing artist, author, corporate trainer, and the personality development pioneer of India, Dr. Guha, who happens to be the founder and chairman of Nrityanjali Mumbai, the Institute of Performing Arts, Education, Personality Development, and Management Service. So now, let me come down to speaking about the various elements of performing art that I've spoken about, and now I speak about education. Education, I mentioned to you, is about expanding one's horizon. It is about adaptability. I also did mention that education is about connectivity. And what is this connectivity? This connectivity is expressing and transferring of knowledge. All of us can and do transfer knowledge. But the important thing to remember is to transfer knowledge, it has to be done in a convincing manner and it has to be done in an effective manner. If the transfer of knowledge and the communication is not impactful and if it is not effective, then the very purpose of education is defeated. This is precisely where the role of performing arts comes in. Performing arts, as we all know, are the various forms of communicating, expressing, transferring of our knowledge, feelings, and thoughts. So, what is it and how does it work? Well, it is the visual. Performing arts brings about visual impact, which holds the attention of the audience. It makes the interaction joyful as well as enjoyable. I'm not saying that to be an effective communicator, one has to be an actor or a dancer or a singer or a musician or a sports person. But we can certainly use these various elements of performing arts to make our communication effective without really being a performing artist. How does that work? Do that. Briefly, the science of mirror is the answer. We look at the mirror. Imagine this is the mirror. And right now you are my mirror, whom I'm looking at. And I look at the profiles of my face, my right profile, my left profile, my front profile, and express various emotions of anger, sorrow, laughter, joy, fear. Let me do a quick demonstration. So I will look at you as my mirror. I'm assuming that you're my mirror. And I will use rhythm, which I already mentioned is a part of performing art forms, and demonstrate the same to you. So I will start with the smile, and then I will move on to anger and sorrow, and you will be able to identify the same. We start. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Anger. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Sorrow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Fear. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, love. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, greed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, laughter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 13, 14, 15, 16. Thank you. This helps to break our inhibitions, physical, mental, and emotional. What is the science behind it? The science behind it is this, that the brain has the capacity to store and memorize. When we look at these various expressions that we're emoting in the mirror, the brain is able to accept or reject, as the case may be. We are then able to control our expressions of anger, sorrow, fear, and also enhance and effectively communicate our feelings of joy, appreciation, and so on. That apart, when we also do this, is we can use our body profiles. This is our right profile, left profile, when I'm shaking hands, my front profile. This improves the body language and the body posture and makes the visual impact more appealing. So shall we have a quick round of me giving the counts with the audience, just doing exactly what I said? The anger, the smile, the sorrow, fear. Are you ready? Wonderful. So your mirror is me. So you look at me and express as per your comfort zone and your ability. Right? Shall we start with the smile? One trial round. 1, 2, 3, open. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, close. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, open. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, close. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Fantastic. So now we move on to the rest of it. Ready? Alright. Now we will try out anger. 1, 2, 3. 3. Anger. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Sorrow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Fear. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Laughter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Can I hear a little bit more noise for the laughter? I'll do it once again. 1, 2, 3, start. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Fantastic. Little tension while doing it. Right? But the science is that we go back home and look at the mirror and express ourselves once again. Next comes the voice modulation. We practice the voice modulation or the toning of the voice through music. We use the octaves of the music to practice voice modulation because it makes it more musically pleasant to the ears. Sa re ga ma pa dha ni sa ni ra pa ma ga re sa This exercise, when we're doing it through the music, tones our voice and helps us to match it to our facial expressions and make it a good combination while presenting with the voice as well as the body and the face. Next comes the art of walking. The art of walking is derived from both drama as well as sports. There is a certain way that the leg is supposed to fall, with the heel first, then the toe, and the legs have to fall straight. With a little bit of concentration on this and the lower limbs and the upper limbs, there's a lot of grace in the body that comes in, which makes the communication of the body language very effective. The signs of mirror that I just showed you with the expressions can be practiced on a periodic basis, but the voice of modulation, if we need to get the desired impact, it needs to be done on a more regular basis. We all know that it is difficult to listen continuously to a person beyond 5 minutes. But what performing arts form do is that with that added visual of the face, the expressions, the tonality of the voice, the body language, and the body movements, we are able to create the visual impact to retain attention of the listener and to retain attention of the viewer. This research that I have been speaking about has been practiced from 1963 to 1983. And the research has carried on for 20 years, and the application has been practiced for another 12 years, when across the various segments of people it has been done, and when it culminated in 1996 into the book in 96, Perceptions of Personality, which became the approved reference book by the government of Maharashtra. Till date, then onwards, from the 90s onwards till date, this is being practiced across people and implemented across people from various segments, right from children to students to teachers, educators, principals, corporate professionals, professionals from the architectural background, doctors, and of course, performing artists. So what started as the work of one individual, Dr. Guha, today is being taken forward by multiple people ahead. And what started by reaching out to a few hundreds, today is touching the lives of lakhs of people. So education to me is both classroom as well as life experiences. But in both the cases, the effectivity or the impact is the key to learning. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you, the wonderful, beautiful team of TEDx for doing such a wonderful. Thank you.